Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Also today we're gonna do something different. We're gonna do a tutorial on how to start up the Boeing 747 by Salty Simulation from cold and dark, and also on how to use the MCDU and how to prepare the flight plan using SimBrief and how to prepare the route in the MCDU. So first of all, we're gonna need the plane. The plane is not a base plane, it's not a stock plane. So first of all, we're gonna need to install it, and we're gonna need to use the fly-by-wire installer, which I'm gonna show you how to do it right now, and let's get into it. So download the installer from the link provided in the description. So after you install it, it's gonna ask you your directory where you want to install it here. So you can choose any. I chose E, same as where my game is, but you can choose any, that doesn't matter. And then this one is the one which matters the most, MSFS community directory. This is where all your mods will go. Even this thing, the installer, it needs to know where your mod folder is, where it's gonna install the planes from this installer. So choose it. So my community folder is in the E drive, that's my drive for gaming, Steam library, Steam apps, common, MSFS, and then community folder. This is where all my mods go. And then click on it, and then it's gonna install. So after you install it, you're gonna open up the installer. It's gonna look like this. So the first plane which you're gonna choose here on the menu on the left side, it is A32NX. This one you can also install it. It's an A320, a very stable plane. It doesn't need a lot of like controlling on the air. It's very good, very stable, and I recommend it. But today we are talking about the Salty simulations. Say B747-8i. So click install, and then it's just gonna install it directly to your community folder. After you're done, just launch the game, and I'm gonna show you how to also prepare your flight plan. So preparing a flight plan is gonna require you to register to Navigraph, because SimBrief requires you to be signed in to Navigraph. So go on, register on the website as I have done. You can also purchase their premium charts if you want, but it's free. This website is free, but if you want good charts for the airport and the maps, the plane route, you can do it. But for me, I'm just using the free version. So go on and register, and then it's gonna take you to SimBrief. So when you log in SimBrief, it's gonna ask you if you have an account. So when you go to SimBrief, create a new flight. So airline, so it's up to you what you want to name your airline. So currently I'm just gonna call it Brie because I'm using the British Airways. Flight number, you can be realistic and give the correct number of the airplane. So I'm flying from the airport. Which airport am I flying from? Depart, I'm flying from Manchester. You have to input the code of the airport. EGCC, that's the Manchester airport. And then I'm gonna go to Netherlands, which is Eham, like that. So alternate route, if you want to, you can do that. And then when it comes here to aircraft type, you have to select which aircraft you're gonna use. So first we're using the Salty simulations. You're gonna have to scroll down until you see B748 478, okay, 478 B748 just like the installer, the way it's written. Click on it, and then here on your right, it's gonna ask you about the frame of the plane. So Salty simulations, we have it. So climb profile, this one you can change if you want to. Cruise, you can put it auto if you want to. Descent profile, also fuel factor, you can leave it like that. For me, I usually leave them the way they are. ATC call sign, this is what they're gonna call me, but here you can also put what you want. So I can put my YouTube name, Gazmig, and then fin number, you can leave it like that. And then here we have the OFP layout, you can leave everything here. So taxi in, taxi out, the SimBrief knows better. I usually leave it like that. And then also this one, I usually leave them like that. So departure runway, if you want to change, you can change it. 23 right, that's the one I'm gonna use. I want to use 23 right. And then I'm also gonna arrive on runway 06 ILS 06. So passengers also you can add if you want to, if you want it to be realistic and stuff. So for now I'm just gonna leave it auto, but because it takes some time if you're using the loading cargo app. It's an app where you have to fill in the passengers and kind of make it realistic. So I'm just gonna leave it to none, 0 passengers for the sake of the video to make it a little more faster. Freight, I usually leave it auto. And also attitude here, you can leave it auto, the plane will calculate itself. You can leave it auto or you can select the one that you want. Also here, I usually leave it like that. Extra fuel, if I don't want it, I'm just gonna leave it like that. The SimBrief will calculate everything. 0 fuel weight, I usually also leave it auto. And then here we have route. So this is the route where the plane is gonna follow. This way I'm gonna show you how to put it in the MCDU. And this is the map. The route also where the plane is gonna go and follow. So this is the EGCC from Manchester all the way to Eham. So maybe it's an alternate route. This is the one we put auto. Maybe it cannot land here, it will go here. But well, that's for let's say like realism, very, very deep realism if you wanna do that. Or maybe there's an accident on the airport, it's gonna take that route. So anything else here, I don't think you need to touch them, but if you need to change your routes here, if you're not comfortable with these routes, you can choose from here, suggested routes. You can click any of these, but for me, I'm comfortable with that one. And then after you do that, you don't click save flight, you click generate flight. Generate flight. It's gonna just do it in a bit of few seconds, and then it's done. So if you wanna view it in PDF, just click it. So you see here we have our flight name, Manchester to Amsterdam there, Netherlands. Everything is there. Flight steps. So flight steps means the altitude. This is the altitude. Remember, this is the altitude. This is the cost index. If you want to be more realistic, there's a place where you usually put this if you're calculating the speed, the V1, V2, VR, everything there. And then this is our route ID and everything. AGCC 23, right? It's gonna go direct to Desig, and then it's gonna take Airways L603, and then it's gonna go to Lamso, and then Lamso is the seat, and then land in Netherlands. So that's it. You don't need much. So after you have done this, what you need to do is go back to the game and launch the game. Don't be in the airport. You can be in the main menu, but don't be in the airport while you're selecting this. It won't load. So first you need to be in the airport, and then after you've created this, and then if you want to see where the runway which you want to take, then fine and good. So after you've done this, so let's go back to the game and I show you how to put everything here in the MCDU. All right, so come back to the game, the main menu, go to the world map. Remember your airport which you choose to start, or your departure. Mine was EGCC, the Manchester. I'm gonna click down here, search it, EGCC, and then it's gonna give me a choice down here, EGCC, Manchester. And then remember, you don't have to start the plane on the runway because we are trying to start it on the cold and dark, be a little bit more realistic. So you can choose any ramp, any gate that you want around here. I'm gonna go with this because my runway is 23, right? I just want to be near, much easier, or I don't want to start all the way here, taxi, and then holding position, waiting other planes like that. So I'm just gonna choose which one is near. I'm gonna go with this one, gate 49 parking, set as departure, and then after that just click fly. So let's meet you there in the So the game has already loaded you inside the airport, in a gate or parking. So you can either go inside the cockpit if you want to start it immediately, or if you want to do the simulation way, you can start in like calling in the catering, the luggage, by using the add-on, which I'll leave the link in the description. You can call in baggage, jetway, which is, I like to call it the last one, and power, also the power guy. So let's head inside the cockpit and start the plane. So first thing first, we need to start with the battery. Battery is overhead there. Open it. click it, turn it on, close it. Standby power, just click it to auto. I'm sorry, here it is, standby power. This is the APU. Put it auto, then you're gonna see lights around. And then external power, if it's available, this one here, click and click, because our power is available. And then APU selector, this one here, start and then on. If you push it to start, it's gonna take itself back to on, so don't worry about that. Like that, did by itself. So what you need to do and wait is this gen switches to show available. The plane can go up without this one, and the engine won't start without this one. So we're gonna have to wait until we see APU Gen 1 and Gen 2 available. So like that, it leads available, and then click them. Done. And then we're gonna have also to turn on the fuel pumps. It's on the other side in this plane. See this one? 1, 2, 3. All these are the fuel pump. Click them, all of them. Well, the next thing, we need to alert the ground crew that our plane is active. So pull this up as a beacon to give or notify the ground crew that the plane is active. So the next thing, we're gonna go down and prepare our MCDU, our flight path, our flight plan or route. So we're gonna come down here. So in Salty simulations, this one, you have to input your SimBrief ID. And how do you do that? You need to go to Salty and then SimBrief, and then input your SimBrief ID. Go to your account, options, and check your SimBrief ID. Input it here and then click this one. You're gonna write the number that you're gonna see in your account. Mine is 587046, and then click here, and then it's gonna activate by itself. You don't need to click anything else. And then go back to the options, to the normal page, initial ref or whatever. So right now what we need to do is prepare our route. So you already created your flight plan on SimBrief. What you need to do is just click here, route, and then you need to click request the flight plan from SimBrief to be downloaded to the plane. So click, it's gonna play a sound, and then click load, next button, and it's gonna load. Activate, and then execute. Done. Then come back to departure and arrival, and then here, so this is where your first seed in after the airport, but mine, it didn't have, mine was direct, which was written DCT, but my runway is 23 right. So if you don't have the seed, leave it, but if you have the runway, select it, of course. So runway, mine was 23 right. I don't have to select any seed or an alternate route, so I'm just gonna click execute. Then I'm gonna come back to index, and then arrival. So stars, so my arrival star was LAMS 2A, remember that? Click that, the one which is on your flight plan. And then the approach runway, mine was ILS 06. I'm gonna click that, wait for it to load like that. I don't have in transition, so I'm just gonna click execute, and it's done. Then click route. So origin AGCC, destination EHAM, runway 23 right, and then next page. So you see mine was direct, that's why I didn't click any seat. Next page is that arrival runway 06 right, ILX 6. So you can also check your routes and your flight plan here by legs, we call them legs, those waypoints. You can scroll down. I want to show you where it has usually have a problem. scroll down, you see this one where we have discontinuity here. A part of your flight route will get broken, so what you need to do, you need to click the next route or the next leg after discontinuity. So mine is Ostron. I'm gonna click it like that until I see it down here. Come back to the previous page and then click the previous leg before discontinuity, like that, so that one can disappear, and then execute. And then I'm gonna look for another discontinuity if I have it on my route. It's there, but after the flight plan. So this one doesn't have to bother me because it's after the flight plan. So but if it was in the middle, that will be something which you have to do the way I showed you. So the next thing you have to do is come up and prepare your map. Come and turn on these buttons up here, the knobs, put them straight facing towards the nav so that we can have the map for the flight plan, like that. Then you're gonna have to wait a few minutes for it to load. It surely tells you here alignment 6 minutes, so you're gonna have to wait for 6 minutes for everything to appear. So also come back to your dashboard, select your flight altitude. Mine was 20,000. And then come back here, turn on the flight director. So this one is the range of the map. If you want to see it bigger, we're gonna see that later after it loads. Okay, we are done with that. So the next thing is quite easy still. So the next thing, we have our APU already running, so we don't need the external power anymore. You can switch it off just like that, because we're already running on our APU. And also for the simulation, if you wanna take off everything here, because we're gonna be starting our engine soon, we're gonna request taxi. I'm gonna call them off, catering, baggage, and power. And then with this tool, you can also pre-plan your pushback, where you want your plane to be pushed out automatically without you doing anything. It's a quite handy tool. So like this, you just hold the left button of your mouse, then push it down. You can put it here and then use the mouse to scroll which side you want it to be. So I'm gonna put it here, like that, and then click the left on your mouse and then hit enter on your keyboard, just that. So when you request pushback, the taxi will come and push it just slowly if you want to. And this is where you have already done everything. You have put fuel if you want to. So this is where you can call in the jetway if you want to, which we don't have any passengers for now, as we were doing it for taking the plane from the ground to the sky. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna request taxi as we prepare the rest of the things.
Cockpit to ground. Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by. This is ground. Stand by.
So as the ground is preparing everything, we can come back here and turn on our APU. And then air bleed switches, turn them on. And then just leave it like that. If you want realistic, well, you can wait for the taxi to push you over so you can start your engines, or you can start immediately, however you want. Let's start for the sake of the video.
Bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Taxi is gonna lift the plane.
Lifting the aircraft. Start and push. Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
So release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released. Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence. It will start in the sequence.
So they have given a go to start our engine. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna start with engine number 4. Come here in the center, engine number 4, pull it down, or you just click it, come down here, engine number 4, let it start, and then you just come and monitor here if it's running. So you can see the numbers are starting to go up. That's engine number 4. Let's check our taxi where we have reached. Probably the engine number 4 is the outer one on the right, just the way they are. Hopefully those planes can wait and don't come and try to push me over. Wow, that's good.
Okay,
So
pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
So let's set our parking brake so he can leave.
Parking brake set. Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft. Ground. You may disconnect. Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight. Holding position, waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
So my engine number 4 is stable already, 23.2. So right now we go and start engine number 1. So you're gonna have to do it by sequence. And then you have to observe engine number 1 until it's stable. And our second engine is stable, so we're gonna go to 2 and 3. Wait for it also to reach around 19 or 18 and then start the third one. The other planes are still holding position, they're waiting for me. So as we wait for that, I'm gonna check my HPA. EGCC. Search. I'm gonna have to put to 1033. We'll use this one. Barometer. On the bottom left. 1033. Then now we go to engine number 3 so we can leave this place. So down here make sure you put the same 1033. Done. So we're waiting for the last engine. We're still holding position. Probably they left. They got tired of me. So when we reach to the sky, maybe a few meters above, we're gonna click this one, CMD, the one on the left. So this is the one to automate our autopilot. So our engine is starting to be stable. And then right now what I'm gonna do, because we're gonna start moving, I'm gonna set my flaps to 5 just to slow down the plane slowly by slowly. And I think we are ready. So the next thing we're gonna have to shut off is the APU, because right now our plane depends the power from the engines. Shut it off, and then now you have to turn on all the lights. If you want, wings logo on, and also landing lights, because we are below 10,000. Runway if you want, but it's not, it's visible, so just for the beginners, that's where the runway lights are. So what we're gonna need to do, it's taxi to runway 23, right? You don't give it that much power, just a little, and then remove your parking brake. Just gonna move slowly. And then there's a plane in front of me, so I'm gonna hold here, position first. Let it go. Now we can continue. So this is where our runway is, 23, right? But if your plane is too big and you can't make it there, you can go all the way there. So that's what we're gonna do. And if you see this red stuff on the runway, this is where you hold to wait for maybe anything that is coming or taking off. So let's try to go up to the end. It's a heavy plane and a very slow plane. So this is where you hold off. You check if the runway is clear, if there's an incoming plane, like that one. Most of the time the ATC will tell you to hold. So you already aligned on the runway. Come back, confirm everything if it's correct. Your altitude, your V speed, increase it. The vertical speed, if you want it to go up higher and quicker, I suggest using 2.5. That's the one which I usually use, and I recommend it for the beginners. And also turn on your auto thrust for the sake of the autopilot. If you don't use that, it's gonna be trying to slow down, going up and down. So make sure you turn on auto thrust and check everything else if it's all right, and then auto brake, put it to maximum down here. In case your plane doesn't take off, put it to maximum, max auto. If in case your plane goes there at the end of the runway and it doesn't take off, it's gonna be stopped immediately. So we are ready, and let's take off the plane. So you're ready to go. You need to give your engines some power. Make sure your handbrake is still on, and then release. Give it full maximum power. Now what you need to do is balance it on the runway. Make sure it doesn't go wobbling. It maybe have some crosswinds, you never know. So you wait until you hear V1, and then you lift the nose up. That's it, V1. And then you lift the nose of the plane slowly. Slowly. Positive flight. Gear up. Auto thrust. Now I'm gonna turn on autopilot, and now the plane is gonna take care of itself. It's gonna follow the path. Now turn on LNAV. The path that we created, the plane is gonna try everything to do everything as much as possible to try and follow the route until to the landing airport. Here we are. So if you want to increase your dive or your angle, the bank angle, you can increase it here, but I usually leave it like that. So when you're in the air going up, make sure you put back your flaps back to 1 or 0. Make sure you put them back to 0, and that's it. That's all you need to do about Salty Simulation. Startup, dark and cold. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if it helped, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more tutorials. And thank you so much. See you.